Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here, and I got two special guests on the channel to preview the Green Bay Packers matchup for the Washington football team. I got Rio and Juan, both great guys, great Washington football team YouTubers. Make sure you guys check them out. Both of their links should be the first thing in the description, so make sure you guys go ahead and check them out. And once the mod's in here, you guys can drop their links throughout the stream. Should be a fun one. How are you guys doing?
Great, man.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. And you forgot to mention when you're talking about my man Rio over here, not only is he a fan ambassador, he's also in the podcast community. So shout out to everyone. Thank you, Pedro. We always on here together, so it's always a blessing to come on here, man. How you doing?
Yes, sir,
Yeah, it
man.
should be fun. So, I mean, we'll say hi to some people in the chat, and then we'll go ahead and we'll start with a little bit with an injury update. So, I mean, nothing crazy this week. I mean, kind of the same guys that continue to be on the injury report. I'll
They live
read it.
there.
Yeah, I'll read it right here. The guys that are out: Sam Cosmi, Curtis Samuel, Brandon Sheriff, Cam Sims. I mean, it kind of seems like they mismanaged that a little bit because all four of those guys should have probably been placed on IR because Cam Sims, I believe this is his third game missed. Brandon Sheriff, is this his second or third game missed?
It should be his third.
So
Yeah,
yeah, and then
third.
if Sam Cosmi misses next week, that's his third game as well. I mean, that's
Yep.
that's the thing. It's like if you think a player is going to miss 3 games, put him on IR, and you can go ahead and sign another guy and or just elevate someone else from the practice squad. And Curtis Samuel, I mean, that whole situation, it just like at this point, at the earliest I would see him playing is after the bye, which I think we got a week 9 bye, so maybe he plays week 10. And if he's not back at that point, then I'm really not looking at him. I don't think he'll, be contributing this year at all. If he is, it's probably at like the last few weeks of the season. Really disappointing because our three biggest free agent signings have all been disappointing, whether it's because of
Oh
injury
man.
or just because of play. They've all been disappointing.
Oh
Unfortunate
yeah.
that Sam Cosmi is out because he was having a really good season. Hopefully, he is back next week or the week after. Out of those, guys that are listed out, any names that stand out to you?
Well, for me, no, because it's been the same thing over and over again for the past couple weeks. With Sam Cosmi's injury, yeah, it's very unfortunate. He's was balling out, but I'm fine with him being out. I'm fine with him coming back after the bye week. Don't rush it. We don't need to. Look at our offensive line. It's been so good, man. I was an advocate for Cornelius Lucas to start at left tackle over Charles Leno before the season started. I mean, Charles Leno been holding it down, so shout out to Charles Leno.
Yes,
But we're
sir.
really good on the offensive line. Brandon Sheriff, no need to rush him to bring him back off his injury. Sorry about that. And like you said in your video, don't want him here next year. I love Brandon Sheriff as a guy, as a person, but he already turned down a contract, so
Yep.
obviously he doesn't want to be here. Doesn't matter if he wanted to say it or not. It's obvious he doesn't want to be here if he turned down the
Deuces.
contract that would have made him the highest paid. Now we don't know that. That is something someone said, so we don't know how true that is. I'm pretty sure it is. But I don't want him here next year. He cannot stay healthy to save his life. And then with Curtis Samuel, you said after the bye week, you'll consider, not consider, but like you'll start thinking towards that maybe he won't play this year. I'm at that point now. It's just like it's no point of continuing to rush him. And Ron is going against exactly what he said he didn't want to do, was yo-yoing him out in and out of the lineup. He said he either
Mm-hmm.
wanted him in, and if he was good to go, he could play. But if he was hurt, he didn't want to force it. He's doing that by letting him practice and seeing how he's looking, and he's not looking good how we expected him to look when he was first placed on IR. And now you're putting more pressure on that growing. The growing isn't going to heal by you
Facts.
stretching it or doing anything. Growing is going to heal by time, and obviously those first 4 weeks wasn't enough. I don't know if these second 4 weeks are going to be enough. So I'm to the point where I'm just like, I might consider shutting them down for the year only because I'm looking at longevity here with Curtis Samuel. As much as I want him here now, I mean, you still have enough time to turn around the season, but it's obviously not going according to plan. So I would very much rather have him healthy for the next 2, maybe 3 years, than try to force him back this year. So that's just my take on the three main injuries. I mean, Cam Sims out. Cam Sims is a special teams guy. I really don't care about Cam Sims. To be honest.
Me neither, bro. And the way I look at the injury list, I'm looking at it like this. The one that hurts the most is Sam Cosmi because dude has been a baller. Like, he's come in and he's already mauling dudes. He's been the most productive pick we've had so far. I wish I could say the same about our first round pick, Jamin Davis, but that's a conversation for another time. Also, I feel like Gibson needs to take a couple weeks off because he's questionable on the injury report every week. Every week he's on the injury report, and maybe he just needs to sit a couple weeks out and come back after the bye or something, because this is not like a positive thing to say, but there's not much going to happen this season. And let's not ruin a career over some games that you don't want to go into a game with a losing mindset like that. But let's keep it above. We're not going to beat the Packers tomorrow. I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, we're going to get into how we do win the game if it was to happen. But him and Curtis Samuel is he's been on the trajectory of going to season-ending IR ever since he put on the uniform. The first time he put a practice uniform on, he's been in limbo and on his way to season-ending IR. It's time to let Jarrett Patterson rock at running back for a couple weeks and let Gibson get to 100% so we can see what 100% Gibson looks like, because this fumbling issue, he doesn't look healthy. He doesn't look like himself. He can't catch right now. I don't know what's going on with him. Cam Sims has not been a part of one game plan the entire season. I'm not sure what it is. He switched his number, and all of a sudden he's become Antonio Gandy Golden. We don't put him on the field. But speaking of Andy Golden, he'll be on the field tomorrow to give us a whopping 1 catch for 7 yards. Let's see. I would love for our free agents to actually show up, because we've got like nothing out of our free agent class thus far. And I don't want to sit here and use injuries as an excuse, because I look at that team down the Beltway that wears purple uniforms. Their whole half of their damn roster is out, and they win every week. So
yeah.
we're not going to sit here and use excuses. You go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to give excuses to anyone, it's the offense. I mean, the defense, they haven't dealt with injuries, and they've been, really disappointing. At least the offense, like, I mean, the whole offense basically is out, but still, like you said, the Ravens are still doing well. And one thing I wanted to say is, like, I feel like a lot of people are, hating on some of the coaches, and, deservingly so. Some of the coordinators, Del Rio especially, but I think some people need to give props to 2 coaches on the roster, and I think that's John Matsko and Pete Hainer. Both of those guys have been really almost elite in the first 2 years. I mean, think about what they did with first Logan Thomas, turning him into like backup tight end at best, to a guy who had 700 yards in his first year as a starter, and then also turning Ricky Seals-Jones. I mean, the last few weeks when once Logan Thomas went down, I mean, Ricky Seals-Jones has been really, really good for us, and I think he's done a really good job developing these tight ends. And then offensive line too. I mean, I think John Matsko's done a really good job with Cosmi, Wes Schweitzer, all of these guys. He's done a great job. So I think those 2 deserve props, and they've done a really good job with both of our, the tight end unit and the offensive line unit. And like you said, Juan, earlier, I totally agree. I don't think we should be paying Brandon Sheriff after this year. I mean, why pay Brandon Sheriff $17 million a year when you have Wes Schweitzer, who, is definitely not as good as Brandon Sheriff, but he's still a good guard in the NFL. He's a good starting guard in the NFL, and you can use that money to pay to pay Terry or another defensive lineman. So I think that we just shouldn't pay Sheriff. I really hope we don't, because and not only because we have great backups, but also he's injury prone, like you guys said. The injuries on our side. Oh, I want to touch on what Rio said with Gibson. I too am really concerned about Gibson, and I don't know if it's an injury where like you get 2 weeks and it's gonna heal back. Like, I was listening to some fantasy podcast, and they had like a doctor on, and they were saying like it's probably not going to get that much better as the season goes on. So it's really like kind of like a survival thing. If he gets through the week, that's good, because I'm really concerned with that. Like, if any of you guys have him on your fantasy team, I would try to, like, if he has a good week, one of these next couple weeks, I would try to trade him right away,
Yeah,
because
I'm trying to ship him myself right now.
yeah, I think he is gonna get shut down at some point, or I don't know. It's unfortunate, because I thought he was gonna have a big year this year, and he just had that shoulder injury, then the shin. It's unfortunate. He's still playing solid, like he's getting good yards per carry, but one thing that has, and it's not just been last game, but he's struggled with drops his whole last year and this year, and it's perplexing, because he was a wide receiver in college. That's all we hear about. Man, he's a wide receiver in
I
college,
know, but his
but I
hands
don't.
are so inconsistent.
Yeah, I don't see him making any of these catches that a wide receiver would make. Maybe it's because he wasn't really asked to, catch it, catch many screens in college. But still, I mean, it's not that hard, and he's just dropping easy passes. I keep asking, like, wanting Scott Turner to, use him, give McKissick and Gibson more targets, because I think Gibson with a ball in his hands, especially in open space, is amazing. But I mean, if he's going to drop these easy passes, it's going to be hard to do that. So let's add to some people in the comments. Appreciate Loser Redskins fan, Bloodshot 50, Gerald, Ali, Revs, RH Chest. Appreciate everyone coming through. Brentley, Gerald P. So let's see, a couple questions. Tight end Logan Thomas should be close to return. I think he's eligible next week, so we'll see. Could be next week, and then if it's not next week, I would be surprised if he isn't back by week 10, which is the week after our bye. So honestly, they might just chill with him. Don't bring him back week 8. Let him rest up for that bye and bring him back week 10. Like, there could be a lot of players coming back week 10, and that's why, like, I don't think we're going to make the playoffs, obviously, and I don't think we're going to make the playoffs, but I'm not going to write us off just yet, just because, I mean, last year, and it's totally different circumstances.
Yeah,
like
very
our schedule was way different, and our defense was not playing this bad, but we were 2-7 at one point. We were 2-7. And as I just saw Rio's face, 2-7, and we're playing, and we have 5. We're 2-4 right now, but we have 5 games at the end of the season against NFC East opponents. The only difference between this year, or one of the biggest difference between this year and last year, is we actually have a good team in our division, like a team that's gonna win 10, 11 plus games unless some crazy injury happens. So, I mean, if Washington wants to make the playoffs this year, it's gonna have to be through the wild card. But we're not even going to talk about playoffs right now.
We're so far away from talking
we gotta get a couple wins before we talk about playoffs, and it's going to be teams. It's going to have to be against teams that are outside the NFC East, teams like the Packers, the Bucks, Raiders, Seahawks. So, and Rio, you want to address the comment, because I know you're a Pickett guy.
Oh, yeah, Kenny Pickett's horrible. You're lying. You're lying to yourself. And Malik Willis came back from the foot injury. He's fine. But no, Kenny Pickett was just dotting up the Clemson Tigers today. Kenny Pickett is going to work himself into QB1, QB2, and he's going to work his way into that. RH Chess, bless your heart, man. Like, bless your heart. That's all I'll say to you. Anyways, but what were we talking about? Oh, quarterbacks. College quarterback. Make sure y'all paying attention to some of these college guys, because we need one of those, because Taylor Heineke, bless his heart, he's a great story. But, yeah, I think the writing is starting to show on the walls of how good and limited his skill set and arm is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be going shopping for a quarterback when it comes to next spring.
And one question I want to ask you guys is, and of course, like, we all like Heineke, he's a good story, but I don't think any of us like him as a QB1. I think I'm totally fine with him being our backup quarterback for the next few years, because I mean, he has a spark. Like, if you need him to play for 2-3 games, he can bring your team a spark and he can win you some games. But I don't think over a 17-game season you want him as a QB1. And my question is, when Fitz comes back, whether it's in a week or after the bye? Because
I bet Ron puts
Yeah.
Fitz in immediately
do
when
you
he's
guys
healthy.
want him to be the starter? I'll ask you. Juan can answer first, and then Rio.
Honestly, man, I don't care. Like,
And
I
me
don't,
neither.
because it's just like, if you go with Fitz, you're not getting no better. If you keep Heineke, you're still where you're at. You know what I'm saying? The biggest thing with Heineke that I've seen since we've got a better, understanding and better look at this guy is he's afraid to play like himself, man. That's just my opinion, because when you look at how he played in Tampa Bay, in the Giants game, in Atlanta, he was playing free.
Mm-hmm.
His skill set is to play off schedule, to throw up prayers, to just be that risky guy. And you could kind of say it's coaching, it's the media getting to him. You can see it, because after he's followed up the games where he's played good and played like himself, he's following those games up with playing conservative. Oh, I can't make this pass. I can't do that. I don't want to turn them all over. He's trying to be a pocket passer, and that's where he's always struggling, because he doesn't have the arm strength to do that. It would be different if he had the arm strength he had, but he was able to throw people open. He was able to improvise, man. That's the thing that I like so much about Ryan Fitzpatrick, is because when Ryan first came here, he's ball where I expect the receiver to be. I'm throwing the ball where I want the receiver to be at. If Taylor Heineke could do that, he would be so good. But sometimes he forgets his arm is not stronger than mine.
It isn't.
We might be on the same strength of arm, or same arm strength level, man. I don't know. Did he drink milk when he was a kid? I don't think so, because the guy is underthrowing like crazy. And again, like you both said, Heineke, I love his story, man, and he's going to be a phenomenal backup for us. He definitely got paid to be got paid, and he's going to be QB2 for the future. Kyle Allen's off this roster next year. We know that for sure. So I really like Heineke, but I just think he did it to himself, man. If he would have just kept playing how he played, risky, off schedule, throwing up prayers, he would have been fine. Like I would be mad, because obviously I'm a fan, but I wouldn't have been as mad if he would have continued to play like himself. But if you tell me every single game we watched this year, we watched every single game. Heck, Rio's at every home game. So we've seen the difference between Taylor Heineke when he plays like himself and when he plays not like himself. In the 2 wins we got, he played like himself. Risky, off schedule, a guy that just takes risk and just do it all, put his body on the line. And then you look at those 4 losses we got, he hasn't played like that. In those 4 losses, he's trying to be a pocket passer. He's trying to play scared, trying to play, like not risky, taking the throws that he normally would take. You know what I'm saying? So no, I really don't care if Fitzpatrick starts when he comes back, because we're not getting no better. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If Fitzpatrick goes in, it's going to be the same thing. Maybe he gets us a spark because it's going to be his first game back. But when he goes in, it's going to be the same thing that we're getting from Taylor Heineke. Nobody on this team right now is going to put us over the top to let us compete for this division. So it doesn't matter to me.
Yep, and that is the answer. I'm going to expound on that point, because it really doesn't matter. It don't matter if Heineke starts, Kyle Allen, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Cam Newton, or it doesn't matter what it is right now. Like, I don't know how much we're going to be like actually achieving this year, but to get to some of the points we hit on, Heineke seems like he's trying to prove to someone in the coaching staff or in the front office that he could be a traditional drop back passer. And that is the issue, because he doesn't have the arm strength or he process fast enough to do that. So when it comes to like processing, getting through your reads, and throwing the ball late to a receiver, you have to have a crazy arm to do so. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, people of that ilk, people of that stature, they can throw late. They can get to their reads late because they can put the ball on a rope and get it to them. Heineke has a very low-level NFL arm, and he processes late. So when he's throwing these ground balls and he's making Marshawn Lattimore look like he's strapping Terry, when the case is the ball's just not there when it's supposed to be, that's a problem. And the Chiefs are the worst defense in the NFL. You would have not have known so when they crowded Heineke, made him sit in the pocket and have to make throws from the pocket. He's already undersized and lacks an arm, and there's not much we could do with that. And we're finally, people have tape on him, and the honeymoon period is over, and this is the guy. There's a reason why he's going on 29 years old, and he has about a handful of NFL starts, and we cannot expect too much more from this guy, and we need to calm down the Hive Heineke legend talk and just let him play it out. And it doesn't matter who we start at this point because we got a lot more issues than just quarterback, but we do not have the solution for the long term currently in that room.
No, I agree definitely with that last part. There's no long-term solution in this quarterback room. The only thing would be, and it wouldn't be long-term, is if they start Fitz, maybe he plays well, and they're like, okay, we can bring him back, and he can, and he can help develop our quarterback, because we will be drafting a quarterback this year in the first round. If that's the case, if they know they don't really like any of the veterans, any of the free agents, they don't think they'll be able to trade for Rodgers or Wilson, then I am totally fine with them bringing back Fitz, maybe not at 12 mil, but if it's a little bit lower than that, and have him as a developmental guy. Maybe he starts, maybe our guy, maybe Pickett, maybe Coral, maybe whoever it is, maybe they start. That's something that I would do. So maybe that's why you start Fitz, see how he is in this offense. Can he help develop our guy next year, or is he done? Is he done and you just want to move on and either don't have a bridge quarterback or just get the rookie next year? And also, I want to see Fitz in this offense, because we really just don't know how he's going to play. Like, we saw a quarter. We saw a quarter of him playing, and it was really two possessions. It was two possessions because our
defense, line wasn't blocking during those two.
Yeah, exactly. And our defense could not get off the field. So he was out he got injured in the middle of the second quarter, but he had only played two possessions. So I would like to see how he looks in this offense. I think it would be an upgrade. How big of an upgrade? That's the question. But I would like to see him just for a little bit. And one more thing before we get to keys to victory. I kind of like, I don't know. I just get frustrated. People like really, really hate on Scott Turner, and he definitely has his faults.
Yep.
But some people need to realize Scott Turner cannot hand the ball on a silver platter to the receiver. He cannot make the block for the offensive lineman. I mean, they're just so, if you watch back the tape, there are so many plays that are not being executed properly, either by Heineke, the offensive lineman, or whatever. I mean, and the biggest thing last week that people were hating on him was the 3rd and 2 where he threw it 2 or 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. But that should have been, it got tipped by the lineman. But if Heineke would have thrown a good ball, Heineke would have thrown a good ball, it was a first down. It would have been a first down. And also, if you guys should watch Tan Todd podcast, because if you don't have Game Pass or All 22, you can watch some of their stuff on there. And he said that it was an RPO, so people were clamoring for Scott Turner to run the ball on that play. Well, it was an option. It was an option to run it. Heineke chose to pass it, and it looked like the right read, because if he would have ran it, we would not have gotten the first down. And the next possession, he kind of does a similar thing where he throws it to Gibson on a screen, but I think it was Schweitzer or maybe Roulier who they missed one block. If they would have made that one block, it would have been a 70-yard touchdown by Gibson. And it's just every game you're going to have missed opportunities by the offense, but like Heineke is constantly, because like you said, Juan, he's trying to be a pocket passer, but also a little bit more conservative. He's not as aggressive as he was. And especially in that Bills game, there was probably 4 or 5 times where if he throws it to Terry, Diami, or Gibson, it's a 40-plus yard touchdown. Some of those were on the same possession, so obviously he wouldn't have had like 5 plus 40-yard touchdowns. But there are points to be scored on this offense, and I just think it needs to be executed a little bit more. And Scott Turner also, he hasn't had a quarterback. Like, people are saying, oh, he's had 5 or 6 different quarterbacks. Well, I mean, can you name me one that is above the 25th ranked quarterback in the NFL?
No,
I mean,
we cannot.
Haskins, Kyle Allen,
Scum of the earth.
yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I'm not even going to count that because he didn't play. Taylor Heineke, and it's just like he hasn't had Alex Smith. He hasn't had his guy yet. And you look at all the great offensive coordinators in the NFL. What is one thing they have in common? They have a great quarterback. And I mean, you look at last year, the Rams. People are loving Kevin O'Connell. Crying that we didn't keep him. They had Jared Goff as their quarterback. Their offense wasn't great last year. Their offense wasn't great this year. With Stafford, fixes everything. Their offense looks amazing. So I don't think Scott Turner is perfect. I'm not saying that. He definitely has his faults, but people are acting like he should be fired right now, and I do not agree with that at all. What do you guys think?
That's the Heineke hive, honestly. That's the people that are putting a cape on and defending every ground ball that Heineke throws, which has nothing to do with Scott Turner. Scott Turner shouldn't be on any type of seat, warm seat, hot seat, lukewarm seat. Scott Turner's dialing up plays. I'm telling you, Taylor left 17 points on the field versus the Chiefs. You need to go back and watch it if you don't agree, because receivers are open. They're winning their routes. But he's either not seeing them or not getting the ball to him. It's not on Scott. It's not on Scott.
My guy Ed is a Scott Turner hater. I'm trying to tell him. It's not all on Scott. But Juan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, man. So for me, I love Scott Turner, man. I'm not naive. Every time he makes a terrible decision, I'm come up here and tell you guys, no, not you guys, but the viewers that, he made a terrible decision, but I'm a Scott Turner guy. The stuff that he calls is so good. Now, the thing that I hate about Scott Turner that I wish he would change is his situational play. God, his situational play calling is the worst I've ever seen. This is my biggest thing. I've been saying this since the season started back to last year. On first down, he throws the ball. It's an incompletion. So now it's 2nd and 10. And on 2nd and 10, he runs the ball. You get 2, maybe 1, maybe 3 yards. And now you're in a 3rd and long. And you expect Taylor Heineke to go out there and complete and pick up 10, 8, 9, 7 yards on 3rd down. That doesn't happen. Now we're forced to punt. Yeah, I'm not saying, Heineke is excused out of that. You're supposed to, go out there and pick up the 1st down, but you're not setting them up for success if you're like that. That's what I don't understand about his situational play call. That's what I mean. And just the 3rd and 2, you said it was an RPO. Yeah, probably a bad read by Heineke and obviously a bad ball, but that play call, we've been killing the Chiefs on the ground. Why not run the ball? If you get it, you get it. If you don't, it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, 4th and 3. That's 2 downs that you had to pick up a 1st down. Instead, you throw behind the line of scrimmage, and again, it's an RPO. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a designed screen route. So it's an RPO, so that's partially on Taylor Heineke, but still, that play call was by you. He throws the ball, you lose a yard. Now you don't have a chance to, go. I mean, you still could have went for it, and obviously, I don't know why they did, because Dustin Hopkins can't make nothing beyond 48. So I don't understand why they still didn't go for it. But I'm a Scott Turner guy, and I was going to make a video about this, and I still might, but I don't know how true it is. It may hold some weight, but on Broncos Today, a Broncos fan, obviously, he said they have a contingency plan for God, what's my man's name? Their head coach, Vic Fangio. They have a contingency plan for him this year. If he's gone, and one of these coaches was on there, and believe it or not, our guy Scott Turner was on their list. I believe it was Leslie Frazier, Scott Turner, and some other guys. So I'm not saying Scott Turner is perfect. I'm not saying he deserves a head coaching gig, but I would not be surprised with the way this NFL is heading in the young mind, the young offensive-minded kind of wave. I wouldn't be surprised if someone come pluck Scott Turner off our team within the next 2 years, because the guy is calling up some good stuff, man. I guarantee you give us a quarterback, you would be praising Scott Turner, but you're out here bashing the guy. Again, he's not perfect. Nobody is, but you really can't see his full potential because of the quarterback position is just hindering him. Shoot, man, put me, Pedro, or Rio out there. I guarantee you we make better reads than Taylor Heineke, man. Granted, all I'm going to do is check it down to J.D. McKissick, and he going to give me about 15 yards every time. So I'm cool with it.
Right, man.
Yeah, facts. And one thing, we'll talk about Dustin Hopkins, and then we'll get into quick keys to victory, and then we'll do the win view questions. So, what quick thoughts on Dustin Hopkins? And I'll go first. Like, people, man, it's just like we hear for 4 years is cut Dustin Hopkins, and then it happens, and I see people complaining and crying on Twitter, like that guy Steve, whatever his name is, on Twitter, Steve Washington Football Team. He's mad that we cut. He thinks
I don't understand that
Dustin
at all.
Hopkins is above average kicker. Here's the thing. People like to dive into all the analytics they want. They like to be like just analytics based, but you can't do that. I mean, you look at Hopkins, first off, you can cherry pick stats all you want, and there's stats out there that show Dustin Hopkins is not a great kicker. But in terms of Hopkins, the amount of amount of kicks that he has lost us, or games he's lost us because of kicks down the stretch, or just in general, him missing big kicks. I mean, obviously everyone knows the Bengals kick in 2016.
Oh my God.
That was a killer. In that same season, he missed 3 kicks against the Cowboys, which if he would have made those, we would have won the game. And I'm not going to go through 2017, 2018, 2019, but last year he missed 2 kicks in the Giants game. We lost by 1. He missed another kick in the Giants game the next week, which if he would have made it, we would have went to overtime.
Oh, his rap sheet is long. Yeah. I don't know why anyone was surprised, and the people running with this notion that he's a scapegoat. What? We've wanted Hopkins gone for the last 4 or 5 years. It was like we were wondering why Ron was so adamantly defending the dude, and then they release him on a Monday morning. It reminded me of, that Pikachu meme where he's like when you say something and then you get surprised at the reaction to what you just said. Like, the media have asked Ron Rivera since August every week, are y'all going to bring in some competition for Dustin? Are you guys going to bring in some competition for Dustin? They actually release him and bring in competition for Dustin because he's not here anymore. And everybody's like, oh, my God, they're just trying to deflect and he's a scapegoat. No, he sucks. I don't know if Chris Blewett's any good because he's never kicked in an NFL game.
But at least they're trying.
Exactly.
New.
I will take it. I will take anything. I would take Juan going out and kicking for us this weekend because I know what Hopkins is made of. He missed 2 kicks in a dome, 2 extra points in a dome a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he lost us the Giants game until an offsides penalty happened. Please stop defending Dustin Hopkins. He's bad. He's trash, and Sugarfoot should have been out of here. And I rest my case.
Facts.
Yeah, and I want to add on to that. First, I'm going to start by saying, as Washington fans, Dustin Hopkins was terrible for us, but we know in 2 years he's going to be the best kicker in NFL. Look at Graham Gano. With our luck, they always go through that phase where, let me stop the Washington, cause them hell, make them lose games, and then in 2 years, they're just Jesus Christ. Whatever happened to Nick Rose, man? That guy was money when Dustin Hopkins was dealing with his injury. But, man, quick, before we move on with the thing, Dustin Hopkins, here's my thing about it. I wanted him gone, don't get me wrong, but not for Chris Blewett. You know what I'm saying? But again, where else were we going to go with? There was nothing else out there.
Maybe, Josh Lambo, he was struggling this year, but he's an all-pro kicker. So, that's something, but I get your point.
And I wanted him gone, but Chris Blewett, man, I really, 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 even though I know what's going to happen, I really, really hope we somehow score endless touchdowns tomorrow, and all we have to rely on is Chris Blewett to kick a PAT. Because, man, you don't know how crazy my heart's gonna be pumping if we, on his very first game, we have to rely on him for a game-winning touchdown or a field goal. Woo! You know what I'm saying?
It brings me solace to know that the person missing the kick isn't Hopkins, though, because he's had 100,000 chances, and I'll give this dude who's never kicked one kick in a game a chance because Hopkins has been
The-
screwing us for years.
yeah, and the thing
Definitely.
with Hopkins at this point, like this season, I was basically like a kick every time he would go up. If it was a kick I think he like should have made, he would miss it. And a kick I was like, yeah, he's not gonna make it. I think he would make it. And every time I would be like, I almost had like an 100% like accuracy rating on if he would
Predicting
make
it.
yeah, if he would make it or not, because I would just reverse what I'm thinking, because that's the type of kicker Hopkins is. And appreciate that, Armin. Make sure you guys hit that like button. What's up?
Everybody smash
Ali?
that like button. There's enough people in
Yes.
here. Let's get them likes up, man.
Yep. And what's up, Dave Quavis? And make sure you guys sub both Juan and Rio, great YouTubers, and make sure to check out WinView. Let's see. If he blew it, just draft the kicker. Hey, we can sign an undrafted free agent, hopefully. Okay. Now on to keys to victory, and then we'll get into maybe a quick score prediction and then the WinView questions. Make sure you guys check out WinView. So I'll start off with two keys to victory that I think are super important, and each of you guys can give one. So one is we have to, be money in the red zone. The Packers have the worst red zone defense in NFL history through whatever games they've had. Juan, listen to this. In 15 opposing offenses had 15 times they've been in the Packers red zone. Every single time the opponent has scored a touchdown. Every single time. That's the worst in over 40 years, and they have not. They've been tracking it for 40-something years. So it's the worst of all time since they've been tracking it. So with all our luck, we're going to score like 1 out of 4 touchdowns. But that's one thing.
Maybe not even one.
Yeah, we got to be, their defense, the run defense and their pass defense outside of the red zone is pretty good. But that, Joe Barry defense in the red zone, the Packers right now, is not good. We just got to get in the red zone, and we have to be money. If we get in the red zone 3 times, we got to score 3 touchdowns. I mean, if we want to win, we're going to have to do that, because we know the Packers, more likely than not, are scoring 30-plus points. So you have to be money in the red zone. And, if we can do that, then maybe we'll have a chance to win another one. And this is another one. And we say this every week. Our defense has to get pressure. But this is more important than usual, because Aaron Rodgers right now is the 33rd ranked quarterback in the NFL. So he's worse than even a backup in terms of passing under pressure. And obviously it's a small sample size, but through 6 games this season, he is the worst quarterback in the NFL under pressure. So, and he's like the 3rd when he's in a clean pocket. So what does that mean? Got to get pressure on him. Got to force him to throw it away quick. And, Chase Young, Montez Sweat, all of our boys, they got to get there quick. If we can do that, we'll have a puncher's chance. Because even when we get pressure, we know teams, when they go up against this defensive line, they throw the ball super quick. So it's hard to get pressure. And, man, I mean, if I'm the Packers, I don't even try to go deep with Devontae Adams. Just throw a screen to him, and he's going to break 3 tackles from William Jackson, Kendall Fuller.
Kendall Fuller.
That's what you have to – if I'm the Packers, because you don't want, Aaron Rodgers to be sitting back there for 3-4 seconds, because he's going to get under pressure. So what I would do is just throw it right there. Just throw a screen pass to Devontae Adams. He's obviously going to break tackles against William Jackson, Kendall Fuller, these guys. So those are my keys to victory. Get pressure and – be money in the red zone. I know those are things you want to do every week, but especially this week, considering the red zone numbers and Aaron Rodgers' numbers. Juan, you want to go, and then Rio?
Yep, let's do it.
Oh, Juan, you're muted. You're muted.
Yeah, I'll go first. But before we get into that, shout out to Redskins 007. Since Wizards are looking good this year. Yeah, yes, man, they look really, really good, man. About time since 2017, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, before I get into my keys of victory, I actually want to, talk about yours. I couldn't agree more, man. Again, we'll probably be the team that allows them to, lock us up in the red zone. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about Devontae Adams taking one to the house on the screen, because we know we missed 3-4 tackles. I hate oh my God, I hate when Kendall Fuller comes down on a play and he shoulder tackles. What's up with these new corners shoulder tackling, man? What happened to squaring your body, get in front of the receiver, wrapping them up, driving them back, or driving them to the ground? Like, it's like they get to the league and forget the fundamentals that got them there. Like, what's up with that shoulder tackle? You ain't gonna shoulder tackle nobody in the NFL. You seen what Travis Kelce did to that last week? You seen what Tyreek Hill did to that last week? Get off of me, man. But no, getting into one of my keys to victory, mine is to attack their backup cornerbacks. In other words, just give it to Terry, because whoever's going to be checking Terry, I don't even know. Is it going to be Eric Stokes, the guy that ran like a 4.2 or something? Because Jair Alexander's on IR. Is it going to be Kevin King or something like that? Or Desmond King, whatever his name is.
Stokes has been good this year.
Yeah,
he can't check Terry. I don't care. I don't care how good he can be.
Terry, yeah.
He can't check Terry. So in other words, just throw it to Terry, man, because Jair Alexander, and he's probably one of the only guys that really could stop Terry. Marshawn Lattimore did good on him, but again, we know Taylor Heineke kind of made him look better than what he actually was on him. But yeah, man, just give Terry the ball pretty much is one of my only keys. Secondly, who else is going to step up besides Terry McLaurin? We're missing Curtis Samuel. We're missing Logan Thomas. It seems like 1 week J.D. McKissic is heavily involved into the scheme, and then the next week he's not. Hopefully this is the week, and this has to be the week where he's heavily involved. Anytime J.D. McKissic gets about 4 catches, 5 catches, we find a way to win. So we got to get J.D. involved in his offense way more on a consistent basis. Is it going to be, Ricky Seals-Jones? Are we going to see some more John Bates? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to see some more Jared Patterson with the compromised Antonio Gibson? We got to get more people involved more than Terry McLaurin. De'Ami Brown, I needed to really step up, who I think probably had his best game last week. Even though he had something that he should have caught, I felt like he kind of had his best game last week. But we need other players to step up besides, Terry McLaurin. Remember going back to that, that Falcons game, it seemed like everybody stepped up. DeAndre Carter, Terry, obviously, Ricky Seals-Jones stepped up. J.D. McKissic, obviously, with the game-winning touch. It seemed like everybody stepped up. We need a collective unit to have a chance against the Packers. Those are my 2 real offensive ones. I'll give probably a defensive one, and I'll let Rio go. My defensive one is, I would say, get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, but we know that's not happening.
It's not even.
He has one of the, if not the fastest releases in all of football. The guy literally throws it so quick. So even if we do get pressure, he's going to have the ball out of his hands. And 2, there's no way we get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. And secondly, with our defense, I want to see some things where we scheme up some blitzes or something like that, or just something different. I hate when we go out there and play an ordinary zone or ordinary man. Let's be different, because especially against Aaron Rodgers. Because if you go out there in a cover 3, no pressure, he's going to pick us apart. He's going to find a soft spot in that zone. This may be the game where a guy like Marquez Valdez-Scantling or Allen Lazard goes off for 6 catches,
you beat me
125 and 2 touchdowns. I guarantee you. Oh, and don't get me started on Big Bob Tanya and Robert Tanya. He's gonna kill us, man. Oh my God. So we just gotta find a way, man. And I will get to it in the score prediction. I know I'm not with them. I know I'm not with a lot of people on this one, though, because I do expect us, and I do think we're going to lose. But for some reason, I don't know what it is, I have a good feeling about this game tomorrow. I don't know why, but I do have a good feeling about tomorrow. But don't get my words mixed up. I do have us losing. I expect us to lose, but this is the first time in a while that I'm having a good feeling. And the reason why that is because we always find a way to play Green Bay well, whether we win or lose. We always find a way to play them well. Last year or 2019, even though we lost, we played them well with the Dwayne Haskins that ultimately turned out to be terrible. Who threw a terrible ball to Terry, and somehow Terry made a miraculous catch. Then you go back to a year before that, we beat them at home. Then you go back to 2016 or 2016, I want to say that, because that was the year we beat the Raiders too. We should have beat the Chiefs, but Terrell Pryor and Josh Doxson both had butterfingers. So that we always play the Packers well, and we blew them out on Sunday Night Football. So we always play them well. We always give Aaron Rodgers some type of fit. So I do have a good feeling about tomorrow. I'll talk more about this in the score prediction. But I don't expect us to win, but I have a good feeling about tomorrow. I would not be surprised if we do find a way to win. And for all my betting people out there, this may be the game where you might want to bet on Washington. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Real quick, Redskin 007, really appreciate the $10 donation. Says, we're going to beat Green Bay. We beat them all the time. I don't see what everybody's worried about. We got this piece. Appreciate the donation.
Love the optimism.
He agrees with Juan. Juan doesn't think we're going to win, but he has a good feeling about this game. And same reason as you. We always play the Packers well. So, I mean, we'll get to the score prediction, but I actually have it as not a blowout, but I actually have a somewhat close game. So I mean, the thing is the game, if we can just be good in the red zone, and I know that's a big thing, but their red zone defense is so bad. If we can take advantage of that, then maybe we can win. And obviously you got to, get turnovers. Hey, appreciate the donation, Redskin 007 and Skins fan all day. My guy, make sure you guys check him out. My guy, let's be real, fellas. Our defense is straight booty juice. They give 30 points a game.
That's lying.
Who needs to step up the defense. I mean, of course, the defense has been awful. I mean, pretty much every single game. I mean, their best game was the first game, and that was awful. I mean, we were like just so disappointed after the first game in our defense, and they only gave up 20 points, and then every single week is just like more and more and more. So I mean, yeah, our defense has to step up. They got the talent. Really not dealing with many injuries. Like, sure, John Bostic is hurt, but is that really that much of a negative? So our defense has to step up. They're trash right now, like a Skins fan all day said. And the thing is, the schedule the next couple weeks. I mean, you got the Packers, you got the Bucks. So if they can keep them under 30, any of those, like, even though like you're allowing 27 points, that's not great. But when you're allowing 27 against the Bucks or the Packers, I'm pretty happy with that. So if they can do that, I think that's a step in the right direction. But yeah, our defense, I mean, they have to step up. They have to step up. Chase Young, like, he's definitely been better the last few, like 2-3 weeks, gotten 2 sacks, but he needs to make more plays. Like, he needs to have 1-2 big impact plays every game. He needs to go on a tear right now. Like, I was talking like the whole offseason saying he's gonna have a huge year, and maybe it'll still happen, but I need to see more from Chase Young. Even though he's playing good the last couple weeks, I need him to be great. I need
his stamina to be up too, because he looks like he's tired.
Yeah, they're taking him out a lot of these snaps.
Oh, that Chipotle, man. That Chipotle sponsor, man.
I know, man. I'm telling you, Chase is not as in shape as he was last year, man. He's gassed. Like, I'm watching it up close, 7 rows back behind the bench. He's on the sideline, gassed, not late into the game. And when I sat next to his mom and his sister a little bit in the third quarter last week, and his sister said, Chase is tired. His feet start to come together like this. She was like, oh, he tired right now. And his mom was like, yeah, my baby tired right now. It was a really funny moment we had in last week's game. But Juan beat me to it when he said Alan Lazard and Marquez Valdez-Scantling. I have a thing
Randall
I do on my
Cobb
show.
too.
Yeah, Randall Cobb. Hell yeah. I have this thing I do every week where I tell everyone in fantasy to start the most obscure receivers on the opposite team that are playing us, because like last week I was predicting McCole Hardman and Byron Pringle to go crazy. Like, Marquez Valdez-Scantling may have a career performance tomorrow. Like, it don't even be the heavy hitters. It might not even be Devontae Adams, bro.
Yeah, and the thing is, MVS, he is a deep threat. Like, he'll have games where he has like 60+ yard touchdowns. And I mean, we've had a blown coverage every single game.
I was about to say, can't you see it?
Except for last game. Last game was really the only game we didn't have a blown coverage. And I mean, part of that was Landon was playing in the box. And I'll say one thing before we get into the win view predictions. It's funny that the whole offseason last year, we're talking about all the fans, not the coaches, the fans, we're saying cut Dustin Hopkins, move Landon to linebacker, and then they finally do it, but it's probably too late. But like we were saying this before the coaches were even saying it. Like I'm saying, not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for like most of the fans wanted Hopkins cut and Landon to move to more inside the box than he was before. Finally did it, but might have been a little bit too late. So now let's get into the win view questions. And real quick, what do you guys like? Quick thoughts about Landon Collins moving to linebacker.
Yeah, so for me, again, and I really want, before I get into that, I do want to talk about your last point about the coaches. These coaches act like they're just too good and just act like they know it all. They act like the fans don't know what they're talking about. Like, we're not sitting here watching the team every single week and seeing what they're struggling at. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we decide to finally do it. No, you about to get me on my character, but no, obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, we've seen this, we've been seeing this, but now it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You decide to do it a year later after you see him possibly causing us some games, man. It's just like, it's terrible. And oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys, and I will put it in my video soon. Landon Collins blocked me on Instagram. I hate him. I literally hate him with a passion. I told him, I said, I literally said, I'm keeping it 100. You some, bruh. And then he blocked me because he sucks. He's so terrible. It'll be different if he was a regular guy, not making the money he's making, but he's making $85 million to play like some cut, man. Like, he's terrible.
He plays flat-footed. He plays flat-footed. He points to someone else through his mistakes. And I seen him on Road Warriors Instagram Live after the game, and it just pissed me off. And he's not even like, I don't even like the way he answers questions at the press conference. Like, I would eat the money, the 15, 16 million, and release him. I would do it, bro.
Yes. I hate him with a passion, bro. He is so trash. Like, the guy is, I could go out there and play a deep half, a middle read better than him, bro. He cannot cover. He's scared to come down here. He literally said, I don't like, and I don't blame him for that. Who wants to take on 300-pound linemen? But still, what are you good at, man? Like, it'll be different. It'll be different if he was terrible at safety, and he would be forthcoming with the transferring to linebacker, but now he's like, no, I don't like playing linebacker. He's naive to the decision, and who knows? He doesn't like playing it. He said he will play it, but who knows if he's going to give it his all? He's probably, man, these dudes put me at linebacker. I don't want to be here. Yeah. He's probably going to play worse. Like, I hate him, man. I hate him.
Every week I'm screaming at my TV. Like, yesterday I tweeted, or not yesterday, last week on Sunday I tweeted, why is Landon Collins on my TV right now? Like, I don't want to see him play. And he's a sunk cost at this point. I mean, there's no reason to keep playing him or to keep, putting resources into him. If he's on this roster next year, man, I want to cut the day after the season is over.
I want him cut now.
Unless he turns out to be an all-pro linebacker, but even and which we don't think is going to happen. But even if that happens, you're paying him $17 million a year. Like, that's so expensive for a linebacker. But nonetheless,
my bad. I literally said it down. Boston. I would take John Bostic over Landon Collins any day. Like, if he turns out to be a good linebacker, okay, go make your linebacker money somewhere. I'm just through with him. Like, he sucks so bad. Like, the guy takes 4 angles. He's supposed to be, his strong suit is supposed to be coming downhill, making tackles. The guy gets outran, beat to the edge by Daniel Jones, who I'm not saying he's not fast or anything, but the problem is it's the same thing. Countless times. It'll be different if he got me one time on the read option, but they did that read option multiple times and the same result happened. And if it wasn't for CJ Board, who was holding, who I don't think he was, we got bailed out by that holding call. We would have lost that game. But more, it's just he takes poor angles. He's supposed to be a good tackler. He can't tackle. The guy's just terrible, man. Yeah, I'm just done with him. I can't.
Your super chat just had me dying.
Yeah, I mean, Landon Collins is super frustrating, and I mean, he just continues to disappoint. He just continues Oh,
Shout out to Skins, man.
Spin
Shout out to
Spin
Skins.
says,
I'm not
appreciate the
going in.
donation, man. Again, he says, let's give Landon some credit. At least he can block on Instagram instead on the field. Man, that's a good one. Appreciate the donation. I mean, he hasn't done anything on the field. Just got boxed out by number 88 on the Chiefs and just got
Like,
mossed.
who are
I mean,
you, bro?
Alex Smith was narrating the who got mossed when Landon Collins got mossed. That was hilarious. But yeah, let's appreciate the donation. Let's get into these questions right here. So first question, and we'll just I'll ask all of you guys. Both teams combined to commit 3 or more turnovers in the game. What do you guys think?
I think we may turn 3. We may not combine for 3 turnovers because we're going to be the ones that have all 3. You know what I'm saying? So, honestly, all seriousness, me personally, I do think, like, on the funny joking side, we may actually turn over the ball 3 times. But seriously, I don't see it. I don't think we turn the ball over 3 times. Preston Smith, Zary Smith are both out. Their best pass rusher, their best cornerback is out. But leave it to us to still cough the ball up. But nah, I don't think so personally. But I wouldn't put it past this team to do it.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with no. And make sure you guys check out WinView. They're the nation's leading sports predictor, allowing you to compete in pregame or live contests. You just got to answer 8 questions about each game before it begins or play in quarter-long contests. So we're doing that right now, answering 8 questions. Really fun, and you can win some big prizes. So, and you can go head-to-head against one of your friends. You can bet against them, and it's pretty fun. And first-time deposit bonus of up to $200, and you can play your first $20 risk-free. So make sure you guys check them out. Link right here, and let's get started with these questions.
Shout out my man Roger. Shout out my man Roger in the chat, man.
Yes,
the
sir.
Rebuild,
the OG.
Rebuild. That's my guy. Hell yeah.
The OG.
Yeah, and I think that's something like people need to realize. Like, I mean, I think we are all thinking this year is going to be better than it is. I don't think. I mean, there's some people that thought it was going to be bad, but I don't think, like, at least us, we didn't think it was going to be this bad. And I think it's kind of like a reality check that this is the second year of a rebuild where in the, Ron Rivera inherited a 3-13 team, not a good team. And I mean, it's not gonna happen overnight. So I mean, and at the end of the day, they just got to get a quarterback. They had Ron. I understand year 1 he didn't get a quarterback because kind of somewhat invested in Haskins. Year 2 tries to go out and get Stafford, doesn't get him. Didn't really like any of the quarterbacks in the draft class, and I'm fine with him doing that. In terms of, like, if you don't like any of the quarterbacks in the draft class, why are you gonna go up and trade up for him? Like, there's no reason to do that. There's no reason, because if they wanted to get Justin Fields, they were going to have to trade up above the Giants and the Eagles, because they weren't going to play with them, or not going to trade with them. So they're probably going to have to trade up to the top 9 for a quarterback that they might like, but they don't love. So I don't think – I'm fine with them. And all these quarterbacks so far this year, they've struggled, except Trevor Lawrence is looking better. Mac Jones has been good. And I'm not saying these guys are going to be bad for the rest of their careers, but – they haven't been good so far. So I think I'm fine with that. But year 3, you're going to have to find someone. You're going to have to, whether it's a quarterback in the draft. I mean, there's a bunch of options. There's like 5 guys that could go in the first round. I don't think there's like, maybe we'll see. Maybe Pickett, maybe Coral, like that. I just don't know if there's an elite talent, like a top 3 guy that like last year would have gotten top 3. But
there's going to be a couple. What we have in our favor is that there's a couple teams that already have their quarterback that are going to be picking.
And the number 1 pick will probably be Thibodeau from Oregon.
Yep, and then a tackle for a team like Jacksonville, because they, like, you know what I'm saying? Like first couple picks could not be quarterbacks, and we should be in prime position. Like, if we don't get a quarterback the next offseason, we're never going to get a quarterback here.
Yeah.
Like, if it does not happen in 2022, I don't know what the hell to tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is, will Aaron Rodgers throw for more total yards than Heineke? I'm saying yes, and everyone in the comments, you guys can put this as well. And the thing that's crazy,
smash the yes in the chat.
The thing that's crazy is that they actually have Heineke favored to have more passing.
Maybe because Aaron Jones.
Yeah, maybe, but because I'm getting better odds to say yes. So I
Yeah,
mean,
they're
I'm
wilding.
saying yes for
No.
this,
Yeah,
putting
I
some
would say
points
yes.
on that.
Big yes.
I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe they're winning by so much that they're gonna pass the ball a ton at the or run the ball a bunch at the end of the game.
You
Um,
know,
both teams combined to score 43 or more. I mean, our defense allowing 30 points a game against their offense, which is an elite offense, and I think our offense is going to do okay. Like, I don't think our offense is going to go out there and score 30 plus points, but they can score over 17, over 20 points. So I'm going to say yes on this one.
yeah, I agree totally. I think
Definitely yes.
my final score prediction. We'll get to that again when we start talking. Final thoughts on the game tomorrow. My score prediction was 34-23. So yeah,
Mine
I
is
think
similar.
I
Wait, what
think
is it? Can you say it again?
34-23. Washington
All right.
wins. I know Packers wins.
I got it even closer than that. I got a 31. I think 31-24 with a garbage time touchdown at the end. But I was going to say 31-23, but I was like, I don't see Blewett kicking 2 field goal. Like, I think Ron's going to be a little bit more conservative this week in terms of the field goal unit. Like, I don't think he's going to have that many attempts just because he just signed Wednesday. So they don't have that chemistry. So that's why I think it might be they're not going to. I think they'll score 3 touchdowns and a field goal, hopefully. So the
Yeah.
next question: McLaurin records more receptions than Adams. I'm going to say no. I think whoever is on Adams, I mean, it doesn't matter. Adams is going to cook them.
I'm gonna go yes.
Okay,
You're gonna go yes?
I'm gonna go yes because Terry is all we have, and even though passes get thrown behind him into the ground, somehow he's gonna manage to get some catches.
I mean,
because
here's the thing, though. I mean, same thing last week. I mean, Terry is the only thing we had, but we only got him 4 catches for 28 yards. We got to get him more.
We left 2
that
deep
is
ball
terrible.
touchdowns. We left 2 deep ball touchdowns on the field because Heineke underthrew one and just did not see him on one.
That is terrible, man.
We don't deserve Terry McLaurin. We don't deserve
your number one receiver has 28 yards. Your number one receiver should not have less than 70 yards each and every week. 28 yards. That is just that's despicable, man. That is terrible, man. And I want to talk about the Chris Blewett thing one more time. I understand, yeah, it's his first game, but why make the move if you're not going to send him out there on situations where, it's like just give me the point. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing I hope he doesn't do. I know he is, man. Ron is so predictable. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Yeah. And let's see, Washington football team addicts appreciate the $5 donation.
Oh, jeez, my guy
really,
Steve.
Really appreciate. Make sure you guys check him out. Really appreciate that, man. Let's see. He says, "Just be real and stop saying we're going 13-4." Yeah, I mean, yeah, 1.25 years into a rebuild, there's a long way to go, and I agree. I mean, it takes more than even 3 years, honestly, to get rid of our culture from the years before.
We were deceived by that 7-9 division title that only came because Dak Prescott's foot turned the opposite way.
Yeah, I really hope, though, we can turn it around this year. And it's going to be the thing is, if we do turn it around and we win like 8 games at the end of the season, we won't make the playoffs, and our pick's going to be really bad.
Please, God, no. Please, God, no.
I think
that's like literally the worst thing that could. I know, because that's a totally Washington scenario, and we're going to sign Mitchell Trubisky in the offseason. Please, God, no.
Our schedule at the end of the season is easier. So I honestly think, which is unfortunate, because the worst place to be is, I guess, in the 17-game schedule is 6 to 8 wins, because you're not bad enough to get a top pick, but you're not good enough to make the playoffs. So I think it's going to happen. I think it definitely could happen where we win 6-7 games, and that's definitely not going to make the playoffs, and it's not going to get you a top 5 pick. So you're going to have to use your resources. Washington football team addicts, again, appreciate the donation, and I agree with you. It's going to take a while for this rebuild to get going.
I kind of want to add something else to it, man. Yeah, the rebuild is good. Isn't changed, but honestly, this rebuild won't start until Daniel Snyder sells the team. No, in my opinion, until Daniel Snyder sells the team, and
it's not going to happen.
And it's not going to happen. So we can say this is going to be a real rebuild, but Daniel Snyder it doesn't matter how hands off he is. He just has this dark cloud over this organization that it doesn't matter how good of a head coach, rap sheet they had before coming to Washington. They're always just never going to be good in here because Daniel Snyder is just overseeing everything. Again, I don't care how hands off he says he is and how hands off he is and how coach centric this new culture is supposed to be. It's just something, man. He just has a curse with him and a curse on this organization that it's not going to change until he sells his team or forces it, and it's never going to happen.
The karma is so disgusting with this team. It almost feels like any story NFL related that has a salacious or nefarious tone is always linked to Washington. Everything comes back to here,
but nothing big enough to get Dan
him
out. I don't think Dan's gonna be gone until I'm like 40.
Dan is not ever going to be gone. He's going to hand this team to his son, and we're going to have to deal with a whole nother generation of
the Snyders.
and right before Dan Snyder passes, he's gonna be like, "Son, let me give you all the great tips that I have for running an organization."
And I don't want to say this because I don't wish death on nobody, but I just kind of like somebody catch Dan Snyder loafing and pluck him one time, like they did. Like
you gotta relax, Juan.
like they did, my man. It's like, no, let me stop playing. But I'm joking. I don't want that to happen. I was just about to make a former president joke. You guys know what I was about to say. But I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking. But it's to the point where it's just like I kind of want something like that to happen. But it's just like that's how invested I am in this team, man. It's just like, dude, like, bro, like, come on. And like, man.
Juan, hilarious.
All right. So now on to the next question. Aaron Jones rushes for 100 more yards and scores a touchdown. I'm gonna say no.
Yeah. What?
I'm gonna say no.
Hey, that's cool.
He could.
He's not running for 100.
He could, but he also has got to get a touchdown, which definitely could happen. But I'm gonna say no.
That's cool. Say no, but me personally, I would say yes. I wouldn't put it past Aaron Jones to rush for 100, probably catch about 4 passes for about 75 yards, and possibly he's going to kill us tomorrow. Oh my God, he scares me more than Devontae Adams from the standpoint of able to run the ball and catch out the back. Oh yeah, oh my God, he is going to tear us up tomorrow.
Yeah,
he'll kill us in the pass game more so.
Roger says they won't win 7 games. Lucky if they win 4. I mean, honestly,
that's the best thing for this season.
I would rather them win like
4
than 7. But I think it's going to be closer to that. I just think. I mean, Ron Rivera's team, second half teams. The schedule, which is unfortunate because it's probably better for this franchise if they get a top pick this year, but we'll see. So
okay. No, I was just about to say, me personally, I would prefer them to win 7 games because it's like we're going backwards if we win 4, and I would prefer them to have to trade up and get a quarterback than 4 wins because I just don't. I don't believe in that, and I want once we get to the game prediction and the stats, I want to talk about like what I see for the next couple weeks, and I could definitely be way off, but I really want to talk about that. So when we get to that, I'll say that before you say the next prediction. It says Ted Leonsis should take over the team. Ted already has enough money, man. He got the Capitals and the Wizards, and does he have the Mystics too? I'm pretty sure he does.
While we're on this topic, I want to dead something for people. Everybody who thinks that Jeff Bezos has a chance at getting this team, I want to tell you guys something. These owners in this league are a fraternity. There's 32 of them. They are not going to allow in a man who could stroke a check for every single franchise in the league and it wouldn't touch his net worth. NFL owners have a lot of money, but
they don't got Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, Jeff Bezos' money is different. He's coming off a divorce that took most of his net worth, and his money's still different. He could literally buy the entire league.
He could buy multiple leagues,
and it wouldn't touch his net worth. The NFL owners are too private, too funny, and too good old boy leaguey to let someone of that stature come in and buy a team. So that is the only reason that I don't see Jeff Bezos ever getting an NFL team. He get an NBA team. They'll let him in there.
They think they sweet. They think they look good with they little 2 billion, 3 billion. Jeff Bezos come through, and I spend $2 billion on whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I'm not down.
So Bezos will sit Roger Goodell down and say, "Listen here, bro. You know how the league funds stadiums and the league funds this. Listen, I'm gonna cut you a check for this team, right? I'm gonna just cut it for $5 billion just so we can dead the conversation, and then I'm gonna fund my own stadium. I don't want your money." And then we're going to do this. And then we're going to do that. And then we're going to do this. And the other owners around the league are going to be shaking. They're going to be like, holy shit, this dude could come here and do anything he wants to because Amazon, like, can you imagine what the Amazon Prime Dome would be? Like how amazing that stadium would be? Oh, my God.
The Washington Prime. All right. Let's get into this question. Each team records at least 2 sacks. I'm going to say no. I think our offensive line has been pretty good, and I don't think the Packers will get us twice, especially with Zadarius Smith out and Preston Smith also possibly out.
I would say yes, but just different.
All right. Things. Both teams combined to kick 4 more successful field goals.
No.
Nah, we're probably gonna miss about 2. And I ain't gonna put it. I ain't gonna bash Chris Blewett too hard.
I ain't mad at Blewett, bro.
Yeah, he blew it.
The jokes.
God, I cannot. I really hope it doesn't come. None of these games come down to a game-winning touchdown, or I really hope none of these games that, like in the future, now come down to a game-winning field goal. Because if he missed, they are going to play that last name out so much. They're already doing it, but it's going to be so corny, man. It's going to be so.
God.
Oh man,
it's going to be bad.
All right.
It's going to be
really bad. Next question: Green Bay wins by 14 more points. I'm saying no.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. For me.
Yeah, for me too. Yeah. You can.
Juan, I thought you said it was gonna be 11 points.
It's gonna be 34.
That's my prediction, but I really think they're going to possibly score more. I think it's only gonna be 11, but I would not put it past this team to lose by 14.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
31-13 last week. We couldn't put up more than 13 points against the worst defense in all of football. Now we're the worst. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
So, all right. Next question.
I got 34-17, but for my final score, by the way.
Each team records a defensive, or either team records a defensive or special teams touchdown. I'm gonna say no, but here's one thing. I think we could get Washington could get a special teams touchdown this week because their return defense is really, really bad. So that is something that could happen, but I still am going to say no for this one.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that too. Man, I want a Cam Curl. I love Cam Curl, man. I want a Cam Curl pick 6, man. Yeah, man. God, I do so bad, man. I really do. That one last year where he picked off Nick Mullins. That's how you play a zone right there, man. That is definitely how you play a zone.
Yes, fast.
68-14 blowout.
Skins fans killing it right now. He's going in. He's
going like a basketball score out there. Man.
Next one, the longest offensive play of the game is a passing play. I'm gonna say yes too.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, but I would not be surprised if we get a 65-yard Aaron Jones or Antonio Gibson breakaway touchdown. Because, like, I agree with you guys where you say he doesn't look like himself, but on the other hand, I really haven't seen a major drop off from Gibby with his shin injury. Now, obviously, pass catching, he's been terrible, but I haven't seen a real drop off from speed, from able to break tackles, from able to surge forward and pick up those extra yards since picking up that injury. So I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, he said a WNBA score. Man, I mean, that's a different topic.
Don't do it today, Juan.
So make sure you guys check out Winvy. They got a
Yes,
bunch of good deals. And like this right here, this was a free contest, and you can win some money. And there's also some contests where you can put some money in. Bet against your friend, do a little bit of wager, and hey, make your day a little bit better, even if
Yes,
Washington
sir.
loses and you win some money as well. So make sure you
Mhm.
guys check them out. I'll put the link in the chat, and it's also in the description as well. So I think we'll answer a couple more questions and then we'll call it a day. I think we all gave our score predictions. I got it like
Yep.
31-23, 31-24. Juan's got it. What, you got 34-23?
Yep, 34-23, man. And before we get some more comments, can I say this is the best one we've done so far. This has been my
This is
favorite
lit.
one.
This is lit.
I think this is the trio moving forward, man. What you
Let's
guys
get it.
think, man?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm with it.
This has been the best one so far, man. Hey, we might got to make this a weekly show, man.
Yeah,
Who
Hey,
knows,
hey,
man?
also Saturday at 6:40, we can do this thing.
Yeah,
I'll clear my schedule for it because this is fun. My young guys, y'all kill it. Y'all put in the work, man. I just like to come on and talk my ish, man.
We might got
Hey,
we
we
might
can
got
do
to
it
make this. Go
your
ahead, no,
guys'
go ahead, man.
channels as well. I mean, we can hey, whenever you guys want me on, I'm good to come on as well. This was really, really fun. Appreciate you guys coming on. Again, guys,
Definitely.
everyone in the
This
chat,
has inspired me. I
watching,
think
make sure
I'm
you guys
about to
check them
go
out.
live at like 8:15 now because I want to keep talking.
Yep, and definitely. Hey man, I may be thinking too far ahead, but this could be a different YouTube channel with us three or a podcast that we could create for us three, man. You know what I'm saying?
with it.
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there,
I'm with it.
Hey, I would definitely love. We can call it what let's come up with something here. The JPR show. Ooh, that's
the JPR. I like it.
JPR. Oh
I
man,
like
that
it.
sounds. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm all for it, man. This was so fun. Again, was my favorite one by far. No, me and Pedro always kill it with the duo, but when you add the extra spice of Rio,
yes,
man,
sir.
that's the extra ingredient that we've
Yes,
been
sir.
missing, man. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Appreciate you coming on, Juan. Appreciate
Definitely,
you
anytime,
coming on,
man. You know
Rio.
that.
Make sure everyone in the chat, whoever's watching it live and who's watching on replay, make sure you guys check them out. Links are in the description. They got great content. And yeah, make sure you guys check them out. Hopefully tomorrow is a win, but I don't know. I don't think it'll happen. But
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, man. I'm telling you guys. And before I get into what I was about to say, Gregory, shout out to you, man, for being here, but you're tripping. Joe Barry is not better than Dario Joe Barry. I don't know if you
Joe Barry about to dial up, but he about to dial up a plan and shut us down tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure you were here around the Joe Barry days, man, but he was terrible. I don't know who was worse, him or Minuski. I'm probably leaning more towards Minuski, but Joe Barry was terrible too.
Oof.
But yeah, fingers crossed tomorrow. Again, guys, I don't have us winning, but I have a good feeling about tomorrow. And if you are a betting man out there, I'm not. But if you are a betting man out there and you are looking for your upset pick of the week, I would put it on Washington. I don't know the spread. I don't know if we're not favored, but I don't know how
they're
much.
favored by 8.
I would bet. I'm telling you, man. I this is the game, but who am I, man? I'm just a regular fan that is expecting a miracle, man. Expecting the worst, hoping for the best. That's just me. That's
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for coming on. Everyone, appreciate you guys coming through in the chat. Appreciate you, Duck, Gregory, Armin Brown.
I'm gonna probably go live in like 15 if y'all want to come over and we can continue this.
Make sure you guys check that out too. Skins fan all day says
yes,
he's good to come on. Also, I'll have to have you on as well. It's been a while, but man, always great to chop it up. Ali, everyone for coming through. Roger, thanks for coming through. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.
Deuces.